Yep. Come together. Come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and mind, for we all form a tapestry woven from one light, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord. We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and mind, for we all form a tapestry woven from one light, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Thomas.
Lovely to be here today. Let's just take a moment to give our gratitude and be grateful that we live, work, and play, create on this traditional and unceded territory of the many Indigenous peoples of Vancouver Island. For this we say thank you. Haichka. And I'd like to welcome everybody to Unity, a spiritual path for living. And what I've come to learn about Unity is whatever the message is, whatever is spoken here at Unity, you can take what you want and you can leave the rest behind. And you can bring in your own ideas and merge them with others. There's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way to do this. It really is what works for you and to find your truth, your path. And hopefully we will be able to facilitate some direction in which you can look to find those things that make meaning to your life. Ken.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. There's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through. Know that you are not alone. Someone cares for you as an individual This is Patrick, everybody. He's filling in for Nico today. But Patrick played for us for years, quite a while ago, and so it's really nice to reconnect with him again.
Yeah, nice to be back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ready for a miracle, ready for a miracle, I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one, ready to experience one, I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is open, open all the way. I do accept a miracle, do accept a miracle, I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle, do receive a miracle, do receive a miracle today. I'm ready for a miracle, ready for a miracle, ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one, ready to experience one, I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is open, open all the way. I do accept a miracle, do accept a miracle, I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle, do receive a miracle, I do receive a miracle today.
If it's helpful right now, as we just take a moment in prayer, if it's helpful to close your eyes, I invite you to do that. If not, you can find a spot on a chair in front of you or the floor or the wall and just soften your gaze. And join me as we affirm the health and love in this world. We see any and all things that are challenged or suffering right now in their greatest light. We hold and affirm their truth to be free, to experience love, to experience peace. And we can know in our hearts that as we heal ourselves, as we do our work, we bring light to this world and give permission for others to do the same. And so it is. The wise words portion. Oh, yeah. Awesome. This morning I was searching around on Insight Timer through some teachers that I like on there, and I came across a link to a website that led to another link that led to another link, and I ended up at Thich Nhat Hanh and the practice of generosity. And I thought I would just share what they have written on their site for the practice of generosity. So I apologize that I'm going to be reading from my phone, so looking down, but if you want, you can just close your eyes and hear the words. Giving, otherwise known as dana, is an essential Buddhist practice. It is about generosity, openness, and our capacity to embrace others with compassion and love. When we truly see ourselves as others and others as ourselves, we naturally want to do everything we can to secure their happiness and well-being, because we know that it is also our own well-being and happiness. We exist in inner being with all of life. When we understand this fundamental truth, our acts of giving will be made in the spirit of non-discrimination. The merit, the spiritual benefit to be gained from the practice of giving cannot be calculated. Helping to create a meditation hall is an offering for everyone, for the continuation of the Dharma. The practice of dana brings a lot of happiness when we know how to do it in the spirit of wisdom, with the understanding of interbeing. We don't have to give $100,000 or even $10. Instead, we can offer a smile or a loving, compassionate gaze. We can give the gift of our calm, concentrated presence to help someone who is fearful or anxious. We can make an offering of our time and energy and work with the homeless or with those who are prisoners or are addicted to different substances. We can work on helping the environment. We have plenty of gifts to offer. We are far wealthier than we may imagine. We can help secure the happiness of many people even if we don't have a single penny in our pocket. When we are motivated by the desire to give, even if we have not yet offered anything yet, just the intention to offer our help and understanding, our willingness to listen and communicate begins to lessen our own and others' suffering. There is a kind of vegetable in Vietnam called hay. It belongs to the onion family and looks like a scallion, and it is very good in soup. So just remember that. This is very good in your soup. The more you cut the hay plants at the base, the more they grow. If you don't cut them, they won't grow very much. But if you cut them often, right at the base of the stalk, they grow bigger and bigger. This is also true of the practice of dana. If you give and continue to give, you become richer and richer all the time, richer in terms of happiness and well-being. This may seem strange, but it is always true. And the quote, "It takes time to practice generosity, but being generous is the best use of our time." And please join me for the Vision of Unity Worldwide Ministries, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Ken.
Thank you, Ken. And Patrick, I add my welcome. Nice to see you back. I didn't know this morning that I was doing two kind of polka songs. I'm surprised, Papa, I'm surprised you didn't get all up and jump around. So, welcome to the mess. Welcome to my mess. It's somewhat indicative. Brenda gave me a little gift yesterday. It's a coaster that says on it, "My housekeeping style could best be described as, there appears to have been a struggle." So I want to start this morning by sharing a story with you, and this is a story that goes back to the Canterbury Tales. It's King Arthur. King Arthur and his knight Sir Gawain were out in the forest one day, and they got lost. Now, who could imagine King Arthur getting lost? But he did. And they roamed in the forest for 3 days and 3 nights. And finally, they came across a clearing. And in that clearing, there was no dwellings or nothing around it except a spring and a well. And of course, having wandered for 3 days and 3 nights, they were tired and hungry and thirsty. And you know that your thirst motivates you the most. So they knelt down at this well and said hallelujah and said their prayers of thanksgiving and drank deeply of this water. And just as they were finishing, they heard hoofbeats in the background. And looking up, they saw a magnificent white steed coming toward them. And mounted on this steed, on his silver saddle, was a woman with her hair flying in the wind and the horse's mane flying and a glorious cape. And they were just aghast, and they watched this woman saying, wow, our Savior has come. But as she grew close, it became apparent that she was not beautiful. She was the stereotypical hag, huge nose, warts, hairy nose, the whole thing. And not only that, she was mean. And she accosted them and said, "You are trespassing on my land." And they apologized and told her how they were lost. "And you have drunk my water." And they said, "We're so grateful, saved our life." But she was truculent. She would not give in. And she said, "You must pay for this." And they said, "What can we do to make this up to you? What can we do to appease you?" And she said, "King Arthur, you must marry me." And they sort of said, "Well, isn't there anything else we could do?" And she said, "I will give you a year. And a year from today, you need to come back to this spot and tell me the answer to this question. What do women want?" "Aha," they said. So off they went, and King Arthur, as kings do, immediately handed this whole mess over to Sir Gawain. So Sir Gawain packed up his briefcase and his notebooks, and off he went throughout the kingdom, and he interviewed every woman in every village in the kingdom, and it took him the whole year. But he finished, and he went back, and he met the woman, and he said, "Here are what women want," and he read her the whole 5 notebooks, and she said, "No, that's not it. You have to marry me." And he said, "Well, I've been seconded by the king." "Okay," she said, "you will do." But he said, "Couldn't we just make this as quick and easy and, as low profile as possible?" And she said, "No, I am Lady Ragnell, and I am anticipating a huge wedding and a celebration, and all my people will come." So the wedding was planned. Weeks went by, but finally the day came. Ceremony was over, the reception. Well, Sir Gawain made the reception last just as long as he possibly could. But finally he had to follow Lady Ragnell to the boudoir. And she flounced on the bed, and he sat on the edge of a chair. And she said, "Well, I am your wife. Are you not going to kiss me?" So sadly, he got up and moved over and gave her a peck on the cheek. And immediately, she became the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. And he was astounded and grateful and praised the heavens. And she said, "It is your acceptance that has brought forth my beauty. However, I can only be beautiful half the time. Would you prefer that I be beautiful for you at night, or would you rather have a beautiful woman on your arm during the day?" Sir Gawain said without hesitation, "Now is the time for you to do as you see fit." "That's it," she said. "That is what women want. Women want sovereignty." Sovereignty. Don't we all want sovereignty? So, welcome to the mess. Actually, what I'm talking about is transformation. And transformation can be messy. Anybody figured that one out by now? I know that because my life has been transformed, and it has been messy at times. 40 years ago, I was divorced, having left my husband and abandoned my children. I was drinking way too much. I was needy and sad and depressed. And I was in an abusive relationship to which I had sacrificed my sovereignty, right? Trying to be lovable to the man that I was with. So how did that show up? Well, we listened to cowboy music instead of the Mozart and Chopin and Wagner that I love. We went drinking a lot, and we always went to beer halls, never a nice lounge, and I hate beer. And we went fishing every weekend. As a matter of fact, it was my savings that bought the boat. Every weekend, up and down, hours on end, up and down Finlayson Arm or out the west coast fishing. And I have monumental seasickness. And that's who I was. So when I look back over my early life and the unhappiness, I realized that I really did not know what I wanted, or even who I was, or what I was capable of. For that matter, I didn't even know the nature of my being. I just thought I was being blown around by life happening to me. You've been there, right? I had not learned what I was capable of. I had what's called learned helplessness. I had learned not to be too efficient, too capable, too dominant, too threatening. So the difference between that lifestyle and the lifestyle I enjoy today, I live in a beautiful place doing the work I love to do. I'm in very good health. I have money to spare and share, and thank you, Thomas, that's one of the greatest joys of my life, is the ability to be generous. And there couldn't have been a greater transformation in all that life, in all that time. And the transformation in my life is directly attributable to this teaching. That's what did it for me. It's attributable to my gradually taking more and more responsibility for my life and my experience and claiming my sovereignty. So for most of us, transformation doesn't happen all in one easy epiphany-like jump, does it? It's a gradual unfolding. Someone said, the truth must dazzle gradually. I love that, gradually being dazzled. I had learned to be helpless over several years. It took me several years to unlearn that, to learn how to be efficient and helpful, and to learn my capability and my competence, my sovereignty. So learning, there's a theory that learning happens in 4 stages. The first is unconscious incompetence. That's when we don't know what we're doing and we don't know that we don't know what we're doing. You've met people like that, right?
Been there.
Right, been there, done that.
Hey, I resemble them.
Yeah, right. And the second stage is becoming conscious about our incompetence. Saying, oh, wait a minute, something's out of place here. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. And then we start to get consciously competent. We learn to do it right, and we're very focused and, zeroed in on that. That's what we're very conscious about what we're doing, and we're becoming consciously competent. Unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, until eventually we become unconsciously competent. We're competent so much of the time that it just becomes who we are. So that's transformation, is it not? That's transformation. So we've said it before, and we'll say it again and again and again in Unity. It's all about consciousness. All about consciousness. Consciousness and reality are intimately connected. In fact, our consciousness, our experience, reflects our consciousness. They're one and the same. In fact, our experience is a direct result of our consciousness. So any ideas and definitions and beliefs that we hold in our consciousness seem to be true for us, right? Seem to be true. But as soon as you change those beliefs and let those assumptions go, they're no longer true for you. And that's the way to transformation. Now talk about conscious incompetence. There's a particular way in which I get to flip these sheets over. So that the speech is cohesive. Right. So the values and expectations that we hold show up as our reality. I was going to just say show up as reality, but your reality is different from my reality, depending on what beliefs we hold. So when we clear away all those beliefs and definitions and conceptualizations and underlying assumptions, the mind can clearly see what's the real reality. And that's particularly true as we approach people. Ever have any assumptions about people? Definitions about people? Judgments about people? When we can let all that go and just approach them as potential, as divine potential, then the divinity shows up in all sorts of interesting little packages, including our kids. Imagine that. That grumpy store clerk, the taxi driver who was rude. If we can clear away all that stuff, we see the divinity in it all. When you want to be happy, anything that doesn't fit what your plan was, what you thought happiness looked like, everything will bring you down. When you want to be free, everything that brings you down tells you where you get to grow. It becomes a gift if you want to be free. And you can be happy and be sad at the same time. Are you aware of that? Even within your happiness, within your sadness, you can still choose happiness, and that gets rid of a world of polarities, where everything is either right or wrong, good or bad. And then you can experience the richness of whatever's in this moment right now. So you don't have to go in search of happiness, because happiness is where? Right here, in your choices. And your choices, of course, are what? Sovereignty. That's what sovereignty is, free will, choices. And your happiness can be there in the middle of your sadness, even in the middle of your grief. You can still hold them both gently. But we go searching for something else, don't we? We go searching for somebody else, someplace else. It's called the this isn't it game. I played the this isn't it game a lot, did you? I didn't have the right parents, didn't have the right siblings, didn't have the right education, I didn't live in the right place, I didn't have the right husband. You know, all that goes on and on. And I played it until I came face to face with this teaching. And the this isn't it game has a corollary, another game that goes with it, and it's called Then I'll Be Happy. You know that one? When I was in high school, I just knew that as soon as I finished school and got out and got a job and started to earn some money, I'd be happy. And as soon as I got a job, I knew that as soon as I had a boyfriend, I'd be happy. You know? And then I thought, well, if I got married, I'd be happy. And when I was married, I knew that when I had a baby, I'd be happy. And 3 years later, when I had 3 babies, I knew I'd be happy when the kids went to school. And then I decided I'd be happier divorced, and, you know, it goes on and on forever. It's like drinking water, salt water, to quench our thirst. The substitute will never do it. That's the whole deal behind addiction, trying to fill the emptiness inside with whatever it is, coffee, heroin, sex, chocolate. And then that's not what we want. We want sovereignty. We want to be loved. We want to know who we are. So the teaching that sets us free, that transforms us, is really quite simple, and I'll give you a recipe for it. Accept responsibility, claim your sovereignty, let go of shame, blame, guilt, regret and resentment, and be present now. Be here now. That's it. It works. You know, and there may not be a scientific explanation for why it all works, but it does. The proof is in the pudding, right? You've heard the expression, well, it sounds good in theory, but does it work in fact? You've heard that. Sounds good in theory, but does it work in practice? Well, let me suggest you turn that around and say, we know it works in practice. Who cares about the theory? Who cares? So for me, transformation totally means changing my very ground of being, where I come from, my consciousness. What am I bringing to life? So the ground of being that I grew up with was, this is a tough, cruel world. People are inherently mean, selfish, and greedy. There isn't enough to go around, and so I need to protect myself, work hard to get my share, and never trust anybody. Sound familiar? Sounds awesome. Awful is more like it. So the ground of my being today is, this is an abundant universe which responds to my word and my expectation. I expect kindness and love to surround me, and I know my oneness with all of life. Sound good? Want that? That's transformation. I'm going to repeat the recipe. Take responsibility. Claim your sovereignty. Let go of shame, blame, guilt, resentments, regret. And be here now. Be fully present. And that's it. Happy transformation. Namaste. Will you join me for just a few moments as we just breathe together? Just breathing and becoming aware, fully present, and aware of this place, this time, this situation. Being fully present with our bodies just as they are. Being fully present with the people in this room just as they are, exactly as they are. Being present with our breath. And I invite you to breathe in freedom, and allow it to fill your lungs. And letting go of any bondage as you let go of your breath. I invite you to breathe in your sovereignty, your ability to choose, your free will. And breathe out everything that is not like that. Let us together breathe in self-responsibility. And with a great audible sigh, let's let go of shame, blame, guilt, resentment, and regrets. Once more. Breathing in love. Breathing out shame, blame, regret, guilt, resentment. Just being present in the here and now. And when you feel ready, open your eyes.
I'll just take a moment to say hello again. It's good to be back here. I'm going to play for you a piece I've had the opportunity to perform recently and a few times over the last couple of years. It's called it's called "Don't Be Sad." I have no idea why, but it definitely makes you think, I guess. It's by a jazz pianist called Brad Meldau, and it's a really beautiful, beautiful piece that has a sort of a constantly moving back and forth, major and minor all the time piece that gives it a sort of a constant forward motion and just sort of perseveres. A teacher of mine described it to me as like a Mobius strip of a song. And I just really like it, and I hope you do too.
I want to get my feet off the ground like that, though, if I could. Thank you, Patrick. That was awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah. Gift and craft sale coming up Saturday, November 13th, 10 to 3, November 14th, 12 to 4. Sewing, knitting, baking, chocolate, jewelry, woodworking, chocolate, soaps, centerpieces, wreaths, chocolate, swags, unique gift ideas, chocolate, and gnomes, because I know. And join in right after service for the Zoom Fellowship Circle, and I know Patricia will be joining that today. The Zoom link here is on your screen, but also in the newsletter, you can just click on the newsletter portion, and it should take you right to the Zoom entrance if you click on that. Victoria Prayer Circles at the First Metropolitan Church, room 200 on Tuesday, November 9th and Tuesday, November 23rd at 7 p.m. Everyone is welcome to that. I don't think you have to register for that, do you? You just need to show up. There you go. Right after service today is audio training with Kyle. So if you can bring your genius to audio, we welcome it, whatever level of genius that is. And today's prayer guide is Margaret. Margaret, there she is, for those that don't know Margaret. And there's a prayer room, for those that don't know, there's a prayer room just down the hall here that you can hang out with Margaret in and get some prayer for whatever's going on in your life or whatever you would like to offer prayer for. And today we give gratitude to Rick Gothic, which was part of my intention for reading that piece was my short time here at Unity. The one thing I have come to learn is there's many people here that give on an ongoing basis, either financially or personally, or their time, their effort. And Rick has definitely been all of that and more in my experience of working with Rick on the board and just seeing the work he's done in the community. And so Rick, we say thank you. And please join after service as we dedicate the tree that is now planted out front of the main building. A dogwood tree that we planted in memory of Rick and, well, sorry, thank you. I apologize. I will always remember Rick forever. So excuse me how you took my word. I'm not responsible for that. I meant it as. Yes, as appreciation, absolutely. And to remember all of the greatness that Rick has brought to this community. Yeah.
And there's cake.
Oh, and then after that, we will be joining in the main center for cake and refreshments. And chocolate, apparently. And of course, we thank you for your ongoing financial support, and there is a place you can do that easily. You can send a e-transfer to donations@unityvancouverisland.com, and of course, you can bring checks here, drop them off. And if you are not in a position to support us financially, then whatever you can bring, as that lesson today shared, is that even just the intention of bringing service to others is the beginning of bringing service to others and healing one another. And, you know, I am still struck by Crossan's work that I was reading when he brought, you know, what he believed the ministry of Jesus to be, which was to heal one another, break bread together, and build community from the ground up. And that is still with me. And I look at it every single day in my own personal journal, that teaching, and just think, yeah, that really... You know, when we do that, when we heal ourselves and we heal one another and we share food together, and whether that's breaking of bread or sharing what's going on for ourselves, that level and building community, it's just a beautiful thing. So thank you. And join me for our abundance affirmation. Abundance is all around me. I release all thoughts of lack, limitation, and struggle, and open myself to perceive and receive my fair share of all good things. And a song.
All right. The children are coming. The children are coming.
They are here. Are they coming up? No.
They've arrived.
Yeah. Do you want to come up and share? Do you want to share what you created?
Or not.
Or not? No? Okay. And join me with our children's blessing. We see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. And our prayer for protection. The light that is God surrounds me. I am one with the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am one with the love. The power that is God protects me. I am one with the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am one with the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well, and so it is. Amen.
Done deal. Cheers. Oh, okay. Now you can head up to Parksville, back up to Parksville.
Yeah. My friends are getting married on the beach today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just really hoping they're gonna bring much rain. See what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we should.